This expanded format deck is broken, and here's why. If we win the coin flip, we'll choose to go second so that we can use supporters and attack on our first turn. We can use Tapu Lele's Wonder Tag ability to search for any supporter card we want. We'll get Wally, which is a card that was actually on the ban list for a little while. Then we'll need Lugia V in play. Use Wally targeting Lugia V, and we'll evolve it directly into Lugia VSTAR on the first turn of the game. Then we'll use Battle Compressor to put Archeops into the discard pile. If you play standard format at all, you're familiar with this little guy. Once the Archeops is in the discard pile, we'll use Summoning Star, Lugia V-Star's V-Star power ability, to put 2 of them directly onto the bench. This is expanded format, so we have a lot of different attackers and 2 very important special energies to choose from: Double Dragon Energy and Double Colorless Energy. Garchomp and Giratina Tag Team GX's GG End attack can discard up to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon directly from play. Naganadel and Guzzlord Tag Team GX's GX attack can just take 2 prize cards. And Garchomp V's Sonic Strike is great for sniping Pokemon on the bench. If we get to go second, this deck will most likely result in the opponent scooping pretty early in the game. We're about to get into some gameplay, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. And check out my sponsors, PotownStore.com, the best place to get PTCGO codes. Use code CELIO for 5% off. You can use my Dragon Shield affiliate links down below when you're shopping for Dragon Shield sleeves, and my channel gets supported this way. PokemonCard.io, my favorite place to build deck lists and view the community's deck lists. And Beast Coast Pokemon. So I won the coin flip here. I get to choose to go second. This is a pretty good hand. We have Garchomp Giratina, we have Lugia, we have Tapu Lele. The problem is we don't have Battle Compressor in this hand. We don't have a way to draw into Battle Compressor. We don't have Quick Ball or Ultra Ball or anything like that to get the Dene GX. But other than that, this hand is playable. We just probably won't be able to do the turn 1 Wombo combo with Wally and everything. Like, technically we could get Wally, but we'd be evolving into a Lugia V without any Archeops in the discard pile, so it wouldn't really be worth it. So we can just start attaching energies to our Garchomp Giratina, and it does have the linear attack that we can use with just 1 energy. Here I will choose to Tapu Lele, use Wonder Tag, get an N, so we can draw into some more cards, get a fresh hand, because our hand right now is just Pokemon energy, nothing that we want. This is expanded format. We want to be speedy. We want to be digging through our deck, putting things into the discard pile, doing broken things, and our current hand isn't allowing us to do that, so we'll play N. I don't really care about giving our opponent cards because it looks like they're playing a pretty fair deck, and fair decks lose in expanded, so I don't really have much to worry about on their next turn. I'll just go ahead and linear attack here, get some damage on the board. And also just reviewing Giratina Garchomp's other attacks real quick, since it's been a little while since I've played with some of these older expanded cards. As I said, it looks like our opponent's playing a very fair deck. Oftentimes, players will think the expanded format is more diverse, more fun, and then they're just not playing against the actual broken decks. So here we go. We evolve our Lugia V-Star. We can go ahead and get an Archeops out of the deck. We're going to want to get 2 Archeopses into the discard pile so we can Summoning Star them. And then our plan will be to GG and GX both of the Urshifus off of our opponent's board, at which point I would expect a scoop, because then they have essentially no real attackers left. So we'll go ahead and Dene GX here because we can always Versus Seeker that research back, and we also don't care about discarding our double colorless energies. So this hand's great. We can get rid of the Archeops and we can do whatever we want here. So Ultra Ball that away. It doesn't really matter what we get. We're going to Summoning Star 2 Archeopses onto the board. But we'll go ahead and thin out the deck with this Battle Compressor. I don't think this was necessary because I believe we already had 2 Archeopses in the discard pile. Yeah, we already had 2 Archeopses in the discard pile. Just confirming with that extra Battle Compressor. It's typically good to thin your deck if the game isn't going to just end. And then we'll go ahead and Primal Turbo 2 Double Dragon Energies and use GG and GX to discard 2 of our opponent's Pokemon from play, and they knew what was coming, so they scoop. On to the next game. We lost the coin flip this time, had to go first, and our opponent, like I said, the expanded format has a lot of broken stuff, so our opponent can actually knock us out this turn. with Rotom V, because they have the Thunder Mountain Prism Stadium in play, which makes their Lightning Pokemon's attacks cost 1 Lightning less, and Lugia V is weak to Lightning, so they're just going to straight up win the game here, I believe, with Rotom V, thanks to Thunder Mountain Prism, and the item cards, I'm sorry, the tool cards that they have in the discard pile. So yeah, they'll just scrap short here for a whole bunch of damage, 720 because of weakness, so that can just happen in the expanded format. I lost the coin flip again here, so I am going first. The opponent chose to go second. I have a pretty okay hand, but there's not much I can do with 2 supporters and a Tapu Lele on my first turn. The opponent's playing Snorlax with the block ability, so this is like a stall control style deck. The block ability says that the opponent's active cannot retreat while Snorlax is in the active. But I have a lot of tools in this deck to pretty much deal with anything. This is the first place Champions League Aichi deck. It won a tournament of almost 700 players over in Japan. And they did have the Scarlet and Violet cards legal. The second place Lugia list did play 1 or 2 new cards. They played the Klefki from Scarlet and Violet, but the first place list, which is what I'm piloting, luckily played 0 Scarlet and Violet cards, so we could actually play this on PTCGO's expanded format. So our opponent gets set up here, puts out Temple of Sinnoh, puts down some dolls on the bench, Snorlax in the active still, but I'm pretty confident we could just run this deck over. Fast forwarding a couple of turns here, the opponent now just has a Wobbuffet in the active. The Wobbuffet is turning off all of our abilities that are not psychic, but we play a bunch of Silent Labs, so we'll be able to turn that off and then get into using Summoning Star, and we'll actually just end the game this turn, you'll see, because we can just GGN GX and discard both the Wobbuffet and the Robo Substitute. The opponent sees the writing on the walls and they go ahead and concede. We won the coin flip this time, so I will choose to go second. And we have a really great hand, so we can get the Dene GX if we want, we can get Lele for Wally if we want, we can even discard an Archeops with one of those quick balls. And the opponent has a couple of Pokemon on the board, does nothing crazy. They only have 2 Pokemon, so we will be able to GG and GX for the game here on turn 1. There's the Tapu Lele GX for Wally, and then we'll use Wally to evolve into Lugia VSTAR. And then we'll just need to, I believe we just need to hit a Battle Compressor off of the Dedenne GX Dede draw, or Dede change. And we can also Field Blower, just get the full use out of our hand. Bench Tina, use the Field Blower, Dede for 6. Then we'll just need to put a double colorless on the Lugia to retreat. Yeah, and there's double Dragon in the hand plus Battle Compressor, so that's going to be game here once I just get through doing all of the actions. So we'll Summoning Star, double Archeops, and then the double Dragon can be attached to the Tina, double colorless attached to the Lugia, and then 2 more double dragons with this Primal Turbo will go to the Giratina Garchomp tag team, and we can just GG and discard both of their Pokemon, and we actually win without ever taking a prize card, just because the opponent has no Pokemon left on the board. And that's the winning expanded format deck from the Champions League Aichi tournament last weekend. I'll leave the deck list export in the description down below if you'd like to try it out for yourself. And like I mentioned before, if you need PTCGO codes, PotownStore.com, use code Celio for 5% off. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.